Tonight on the America's Car Mart Football Report, the great winnowing continues. Teams with first-round byes last week jump onto the merge ramp for the road to the Rock. Not only the byes, but blowouts are behind us as well. Almost half of the first-round games, 24 of the 56, were decided by 30 points or more. I'm David Wallace. This week, we've got intriguing quarterfinal games in the top 3 classifications and top 10 matchups all over. We expect one Cinderella story to end in Class 4A, and a few teams, mainly in 3A and 2A, travel all the way across the state, 8 hours or more round trip, in hopes of keeping their seasons alive. The good thing is you don't have to travel anywhere for the most insightful analysis you're going to find on playoff football. Just sit right there. The America's Car Mart Football Report starts now.
Ready, set, hut, hut!
Okay, there's no goofing around now. It's time for an all-out sprint to the finish. Joining me here in the America's Car Mart studios are Chris Hooten to talk about 2A and 3A, Barry Grooms on 4A and 5A, and Chad Hooten on 6A and 7A. And we start at the top with the Hootens.com Class 7A rankings for Week 12. The Bryant Hornets, 3-time defending state champions, riding a 39-game winning streak versus in-state opponents, are there at number 1. Number 2, right behind them, and it's close, the Conway Wampus Cats. At 3 is Fayetteville, then Bentonville at 4, followed by North Little Rock at 5, Cabot at 6, Fort Smith Northside is 7 and 4 at number 7, Rogers is 8 and 2 at number 8, numbers 9 and 10, Bentonville West and Springdale Harbor, respectively, are both done for the year. Well, Chad Hooten, the game of the week in Class 7A is in the bottom half of the bracket, and I want you to talk about it. It's number 5, North Little Rock, at number 4, Bentonville.
David, this has kind of turned into a big rivalry. North Little Rock aiming for its 6th straight state championship game appearance. The only time they won one in the last 5 years was against Bentonville in the 2017 finals. North Little Rock also won up at Bentonville in the 2019 semis. North Little Rock is playing very well. They held Fort Smith Southside to less than 100 yards last week. Their defense turned 4 turnovers in the first half into 28 points. Meanwhile, Bentonville had the first round bye. The Tigers only lost to Fayetteville and Conway during the regular season. Both of those teams are still playing. This is the game of the week. Hootens.com going with the road team, North Little Rock, to break Bentonville's heart again. The Charging Wildcats are 4-point favorites.
All right, whichever team comes out of that gets the winner of number 1 Bryant at home against number 7 Fort Smith Northside. Bryant won at Northside 35-17 in the conference opener, but led just 21-17 going into the fourth quarter. This time, Hootens.com thinks the Hornets will open it up just a bit. They're favored by 15. Let's go to the top half of the bracket, Chad. There, number 3 Fayetteville plays host to number 6 Cabot.
David, Fayetteville had a first-round bye last Friday after winning its first outright conference championship since 1963. They've got a future Razorback at wide receiver. They've got a future Razorback at linebacker. This is a talented Fayetteville team. Cabot creamed Harbor in the first round of the playoffs. The Panther defense had a season-high 5 quarterback sacks last Friday. Cabot's multi-position player Braden Jay now has over 1,100 yards receiving. Hootens.com going with the home team, though. Fayetteville is a 1-point favorite over Cabot.
And the other game on that side of the bracket, number 8 Rogers at second-ranked Conway. Conway regrouping from its stunning 32-29 loss to Bryant, eyeing its first state title game appearance since 1993. On the other side, Rogers' 8 wins are its most since playing for the 2006 state championship. This time, Hootens.com likes Conway by 13.
Ready, set, hut, hut!
Now to Class 6A, where the Benton Panthers top the Hootens.com rankings. Benton with a 9-game winning streak since losing in the Salt Bowl to open the year. Number 2 is Greenwood, followed by Lake Hamilton, playing at El Dorado in the game of the week. The Wolves are number 3 this week. Number 4 is Little Rock Parkview after a big opening round win. Then Jonesboro at number 5. El Dorado is 6th. Marion is 7th. Russellville, finished for the year, is number 8. The number 9 team, Mountain Home, won on the road in the first round for the second straight season. And Sylvan Hills finishes its season 7-4 in the number 10 spot. Let's begin, Chad, in the top half of the bracket. You've got number 4, Parkview, going to number 5, Jonesboro.
David, Parkview, the most talented team in Arkansas. They have 7 players with D1 scholarship offers at Little Rock Parkview. 3 of them have offers from SEC schools. Last time we saw Jonesboro, they were losing their shot at a first outright conference title since 1980 down at Marion. Hootens.com going with Parkview by a touchdown at Jonesboro.
All right, Chad, we want your thoughts as well on the other game in that half of the bracket. Number 9, Mountain Home at number 2, Greenwood.
David, Greenwood won this game 31-7 back on October the 1st. Bad news for the Bombers. Greenwood is much healthier than they were the first time they played. The tip of the hat to Mountain Home. They're in the quarterfinals for the second straight year. Last season they won at Pine Bluff in the first round. Last week they knocked off Sylvan Hills by a touchdown on the road. Not going to happen this week. Greenwood at home by 20.
Okay, let's go to the bottom half of the bracket now, Chad, where third-ranked Lake Hamilton will visit number 6, El Dorado. This is the Class 6A game of the week.
David, this should be high scoring. If either team can get a stop, a turnover or two, that's the team that'll probably win this game. Lake Hamilton changed quarterbacks for the first round of the playoffs and threw for a season-high 219 yards last week in a 41-6 win over West Memphis. Hootens.com taking the Wolves by 2 at El Dorado.
And whichever team survives will face either 7th-ranked Marion or number 1 Benton. This game in Saline County. Marion, the only team from the 6A East that won in the first round, led Russellville 42-0 in the third quarter last week. Benton, as we said, is riding a 9-game winning streak and finished undefeated in the West. That included a 49-10 win over Russellville. Hootens.com likes the Panthers by 11.
All right, David, can't wait for kickoff. I'm Chad Hooten for America's Car Mart. America's Car Mart is all in for Arkansas high school football. And when you shop at America's Car Mart, they're all in for you. From purchase to payoff, Car Mart will work with you and your individual situation. It's personal for Car Mart. Just go see for yourself why Car Mart is different from all the rest. You can stay connected by following Car Mart on social media or online at car-mart.com. America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road and good neighbors in our communities. Coming up next, more from the America's Car Mart football studios. David Wallace and the Hootens crew with more rankings, analysis, and predictions next on the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Shorty Smalls, good food, big fun.
Hey, football fans, Shorty Smalls Restaurant in Little Rock is serving up all your favorites, like our jumping off the bone tender ribs, fresh salads, delicious burgers and steaks, and the largest mozzarella cheese sticks you ever wrapped your lips around. So why not make Shorty Smalls part of your game day celebration? We're in Little Rock, conveniently located at the corner of Rodney, Parham, and Shackelford.
Don't miss the return of Nighthawk Athletics this fall at National Park College in Hot Springs. With baseball, softball, cross country, men and women's basketball, and newly added men and women's soccer, Nighthawk Nation has something for every sports fan in the Spa City. Cheer on the Nighthawks this season as NPC competes for an NJCAA Region 2 championship and continues to make sports history here in Hot Springs. For more information, visit np.edu/athletics. Get 'em Hawks!
We're back at the America's Car Mart Studios and just in time to check out the Class 5A rankings on Hootens.com. And they begin again with Pulaski Academy in the number 1 position. Number 2 is unbeaten Greenbrier, followed by Whitehall at number 3. Nettleton, another unbeaten, is 11-0 at number 4. Little Rock Christian jumps up a spot to number 5. And right behind them, Camden Fairview also up 1 position. So is Wynn at number 7, also up 1 spot. Magnolia jumps 4 spots to number 8 after beating Valley View. 9th-ranked Bologna tumbles 5 positions after losing to Little Rock Christian. Farmington closes its season with a loss to Whitehall and drops 1 spot to number 10. Well, Barry Grimm's our game of the week in 5A is from South Arkansas. It's number 3 Whitehall at number 6 Camden Fairview.
These two teams know each other well. In fact, it will be the 9th meeting since 2009 for the Cardinals and Bulldogs. Last week, Whitehall senior Braylon Johnson returned his first kick of the year, and it went 99 yards for a touchdown against Farmington. The Bulldogs also got some offensive help from seniors Matthew Martinez, Duran Kane, Zaire Green, and of course Stephen Weston came up big on both sides of the ball. And down in Camden, the Cardinals led Greene County Tech 26-7 in the fourth quarter last week. They survived by 5 points, but had huge nights from junior quarterback Martavius Thomas and senior receiver Brandon Copeland. Hootens.com picks Whitehall by 3.
That game is in the bottom half of the bracket. These are quarterfinal games, so only one other one down there, and it's a 5 versus 4 battle. Number 5 Little Rock Christian at number 4 and unbeaten Nettleton.
These two teams met way back in 2007 with Little Rock Christian winning by 21 points. This one could be closer. Javian Dyer Jones went 59 yards for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage last week against Valonia, and senior Eli Cooper caught 3 touchdown passes, and they'll be matched up against Nettleton's duo of quarterback Cameron Scarlett and senior running back Kobe Bradley. Those guys last week combined for over 350 yards rushing, but Hootens.com picks Little Rock Christian by 7.
Now to the top half of the bracket, where another unbeaten second-ranked Greenbrier entertains the Yellow Jackets of number 7 Win. Hootens.com likes the Panthers by 10 at home. Number 1 Pulaski Academy will entertain 8th-ranked Magnolia. These teams meet in the playoffs for the 3rd straight season, and for the 3rd year in a row, we expect the same result. Hootens.com picking Pulaski Academy by 26.
Okay, David, sounds like some great games this week. I'm Chad Hooten with Hooten's Arkansas Football for America's Car Mart. And just like all the hard-working high school football players, the folks at Car Mart work hard to keep you on the road. Car Mart knows that buying a vehicle is a big decision. When you shop at Car Mart, they're there for you. Car Mart cares about you and your vehicle ownership. You know what? You can save time at the dealership by starting your car buying journey online at car-mart.com. It's America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road. That's their pledge to you. And coming up next, more from the America's Car Mart Football Report studio. David and the Hootens gang with analysis of more matchups and predictions. Next on the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Going to college may not look the same as it has before, but you have the power to move forward. There are over 1,000 hands-on or online programs in Arkansas designed to put you to work, and they qualify for state scholarships and grants. Healthcare, education, computer technology, industry technology, and more. Take your next step forward. Visit explorearcareers.com with instructions about how to apply.
You're listening to a public service announcement from the Arkansas Attorney General. The opioid crisis hits too close to home, killing hundreds of Arkansans each year and tearing families apart. On average, there are 62 pills prescribed for every man, woman, and child. Together, let's educate everyone, enforce the laws, and eliminate this epidemic. Let your Attorney General do the fighting for you. Call 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
There's a lot to say about the deliciousness of steaks, burgers, and kebabs, and the wonders of a summer cookout. But we figure, why go through all the trouble when beef can speak for itself? Just listen. Translation, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council.
We move on now to Class 4A on this America's Car Mart Football Report. Let's run down the rankings on Hootens.com. The top 10 staying the same from a week ago. Shiloh Christian has been number 1 all season long. At number 2 is Warren, then Stuttgart. At 3, Joe T. Robinson hasn't lost in the first round in 7 years. The Senators keep that streak alive and stay at number 4. The Hillbillies of Ozark are 5, Prairie Grove is 6, then Cross at 7, Arkadelphia at number 8. The Badgers rallied past Clinton last week. Ashdown is 9th, and Rivercrest, after a first-round bye, keeping the number 10 position. Barry, our game of the week in 4A is in the top part of the bracket. It's number 7 Crossit at number 5 Ozark.
These two teams met in the first round in 2017 with Ozark getting a victory. But this fall, Crossit comes in hot on offense, led by senior quarterback Tyreek Jones, who has close to 3,000 total yards and 36 touchdowns this fall. And Crossit gets great defensive leadership from senior nose guard Dylan Cody and senior linebacker Denzel Washington. Ozark counters with an offense that runs for about 260 yards a week. The Hillbillies rely on junior quarterback Landon Wright and junior running back Eli Massengale. Those two guys have combined for over 1,700 yards this season. And Hootens.com picks Ozark at home by 1.
All right, keeping it in the top half of the bracket, number 8 Arkadelphia is an 11-point favorite at Southside. How about number 1 Shiloh Christian and number 9 Ashdown, this game in Springdale?
This is the second meeting between these programs. Ashdown won 49-22 way back in the 2005 quarterfinals. This fall, Ashdown's won back-to-back games, beat Fountain Lake in Week 10, then last week went on the road in the playoffs and beat Lone Oak by 21 points, their first playoff victory in 4 years. Meanwhile, Shiloh Christian has 12 playoff wins during that span. The Saints are led by junior quarterback Eli Wisdom, and Shiloh Christian's been ranked number 1 by Hootens.com since Week 8 of 2020. That's when Ashdown beat previous number 1 ranked Nashville. And this week, Hootens.com picks number 1 Shiloh by 33 over Ashdown.
The winner of that one, Barry, gets either number 10 Rivercrest or Malvern. Hootens.com going with the Colts of Rivercrest by 6. Let's move to the bottom half of the bracket where second-ranked Warren will welcome Truman.
Truman coach Randy Phillips has a history down in Warren. That's where he got his coaching career started way back as a junior high assistant in 2004. Now he's got the Wildcats rolling. They beat Mena last week by 2 touchdowns. Junior quarterback Murphy Williams ran for 91 yards and passed for 115 yards in that victory. Warren hasn't played a game since beating Hamburg in Week 9. In that game, the Lumberjacks built a 35-3 halftime advantage, and Warren should be fresh, especially senior running back Cedric Calvert and senior all-purpose player Jakari Lee. Hootens.com picks the Lumberjacks by 20.
All right, also in the bottom half of this Class 4A bracket, you've got third-ranked Stuttgart at home, a 21-point favorite over Elkins. The Elks have to make a very long trip for that one. Number 4, Joe T. Robinson, a big favorite against Pocahontas. The Senators picked by 31 on Hootens.com, which is also going with number 6 Prairie Grove by 9 to end the dream season of Lamar.
All right, David, getting a little closer to kickoff. I'm Chad Hooten for America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road. It's America's Car Mart, and they will do all they can to keep you on the road. America's Car Mart makes it easy to buy. They offer affordable, quality vehicles, low down payments, plus optional service contracts to offer a little peace of mind. And if you're credit challenged, America's Car Mart is the place for you. Affordable used vehicles with low down payments, flexible payment plans. It's America's Car Mart. And coming up next, it's more of the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Train, gain, enhance, enrich. Train for a job, gain new skills, enhance your career, or enrich your future in one of Arkansas's 34 public colleges and universities. In addition to the private institutions, Arkansas is rich for opportunities, including scholarships, to help pay your way. The Universal College Scholarship Application Portal opens on October 1st. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Nicely done, Beef. When football fans everywhere cheer for their team, they're cheering for you too, because your savory snacks fuel the gridiron battle. With your tasty sliders, hearty chilies, and drool-worthy steaks, every option is an MVP. Most valuable protein. So gather around the TV and get cooking at BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
All right, we're down to the nitty-gritty now with the 3A rankings on Hootens.com. Top-ranked Prescott takes on a conference foe for the second time this season. Number 2, McGee, third-ranked Boonville, and number 4, Harding Academy are heavy favorites again this week. But number 5, Hoxie, and 6th-ranked Charleston face stiffer tests than that. Number 7, Glen Rose, playing its best football of the season. Paris, Camden, Harmony Grove, and Centerpoint round out the top 10. Well, Chris Hooten, the game of the week takes us to Northeast Arkansas, where number 5 Hoxie plays host to Cedarville.
David, Cedarville senior Daryl Kadich among the state's leaders, 1,900 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns. Senior Hayden Partain has rushed for 1,000 yards and contributed 91 tackles. David, for Hoxie, senior quarterback Cade Forster has passed for 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He's rushed for another 1,000 yards. Cedarville's round trip this week, 510 miles, about 8.5 hours. Hoxie is a 3-point favorite over number 14 Cedarville.
All right, Chris, that game in the top half of the bracket also there. Number 11 Melbourne at number 2 McGee. McGee used 10 running backs, 10 in a 60-12 win over Walnut Ridge. Cedarville's not the only one, Chris. Melbourne also has a long round trip, 456 miles. That's about 8 hours and 15 minutes. Again, Hootens.com likes the home team in that scenario, the Owls, by 21. Chris, top-ranked Prescott will have to entertain Bismarck.
David, that's Bismarck's reward for beating Hackett in the first round. A rematch with number 1 Prescott, which won the first encounter with Bismarck 52-14. Hootens.com expects a repeat of that. Prescott is a 40-point favorite over Bismarck.
8th-ranked Paris at Newport. The winner likely plays Prescott, and Prescott beat Newport 56-6 in the season opener, but the pick here is Paris by 1. Let's move to the bottom half of the bracket, Chris. A top 10 battle. 6th-ranked Charleston at home against number 10 Centerpoint.
David, Centerpoint senior quarterback Josh Lawson completely healthy again. Completed 64% of his passes this fall, 2,100 yards, 29 touchdowns. Jace Clark has rushed for 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns for Centerpoint. For Charleston, it's junior quarterback Brandon Scott. He's passed for 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. Hoots.com going with the home team, Charleston by 6 over number 10 Centerpoint.
Staying on the bottom half of the bracket, 3rd-ranked Boonville home against Manila. Manila has won a school record 9 times, but the journey ends this week at Boonville. Bearcats picked by 17. How about 4th-ranked Harney Academy welcoming Rison, the number 12 team this week?
David, Rison sophomore Kyler Walker carried the ball 6 times last week for 206 yards and a blowout at Jessieville. But Harding Academy is healthy again and a 21-point favorite over visiting Rison.
All right, Chris, and the other game in 3A, another top 10 battle. 7th-ranked Glen Rose at number 9 Camden Harmony Grove. The Beavers are picked by 7 on Hootens.com. Here we go now to Class 2A and the rankings on Hootens.com. Number 1 Bigelow plays host to the game of the week, and we'll preview that one for you coming up in a moment. 2nd-ranked McCrory might be on upset alert this week, and we'll tell you why. Clarendon stays at number 3, followed by Fordyce at 4, and Des Arc at number 5. 6th-ranked Hazen has impressed this year with its short roster. 4 AA members, Quitman and Hector, are 7th and 8th, respectively. Number 9 Dirks faces nemesis Poen yet again. At Magnet Cove, rounds out the top 10 in AA. Well, Chris Hooten, the game of the week takes us back to top-ranked Bigelow, where the Athletic Panthers take on fearless Hazen.
David Bigelow's senior running back Hunter Alexander has rushed for 1,000 yards, 23 touchdowns this fall. Senior quarterback Keithlin Brown accounted for 1,700 tandem yards while averaging 15 yards per rushing attempt. Or Hazen, junior quarterback Luke King has passed for 2,500 yards and 29 touchdowns. Sophomore linebacker Colton Tosh has tallied 108 tackles. Hootens.com picks number 1 Bigelow by 9 over Hazen.
All right, Chris, the winner of that gets either 9th-ranked Dirks or Poen. Poen has defeated Dirks 3 times in the last 2 seasons, including this year in Week 5, 30-28. In that one, senior quarterback Colton Lowe rushed for a game-high 224 yards, all 4 of Poen's touchdowns, and Hootens.com likes the Indians of Poen by 6 to do it again over Dirks. How about 2nd-ranked McCrory welcoming number 11 Mount Ida?
David, we said McCrory might be on upset alert, and here's why. Michael White is back as head coach at Mount Ida, and they have ripped off 4 wins in a row. But Hootens.com going with number 2 McCrory at home, but barely by 3 over number 11 Mount Ida.
And rounding out the bottom half of the bracket, 5th-ranked Des Arc welcoming Gurdon. The Go Devils last week rallied past Junction City 26-22, tagging the Dragons with a first-round loss for the first time in school history. But in this one, Hootens.com likes 5th-ranked Des Arc by 10. Chris, let's move to the top half of the bracket where you've you've got 4th-ranked Fordyce and number 8 Hector.
David, the offensive line for Fordyce averages 290 pounds per man. The defensive line, only 275 pounds a man. For Hector, its offensive line, about 230 a man, and defensive line is even closer to 200 pounds. There's just too much weight, too much size for Fordyce. The Fordyce Redbugs are simply too big for Hector's Wildcats, and they are 19-point favorites over Hector.
Number 10, Magnet Cove, picked on Hootens.com by 21 over Mark Tree. 3rd-ranked Clarendon is at home and a 36-point favorite over Lafayette County. Number 7, Quitman welcomes East Poinsett County. You know, EPC started with an 0-6 start, but since have won 4 straight, including a 36-6 win last week over Mountainburg. That streak comes to an end, though. Hootens.com picking 7th-ranked Quitman by 8.
All right, David, getting me ready for some football. I'm Chad Hooten of Hooten's Arkansas Football for America's Car Mart. Did you know, just like this America's Car Mart football report is on more than 20 stations around the state, Car Mart serves over 20 communities in Arkansas. They're a different kind of car dealership. Their commitment to service and excellence is second to none. And when you buy from Car Mart, they do everything they can to get you into a quality used vehicle and keep you on the road until payoff. They offer shorter contracts, lower interest rates, and low down payments. A flexible payment plan. Start your buying experience at car-mart.com. It's America's Car Mart. And coming up next, more of the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Shorty Smalls, good food, big fun.
Shorty Small's Brunch is back by popular demand, featuring our classic Eggs Benedict with Shorty's Lemon Hollandaise, our signature Egg and Ham Chimichanga, Shorty's Southern Benedict, and the Border Stop. And don't forget about our 99-cent champagne and mimosas. So get on down to Shorty Smalls this Sunday for brunch. We're conveniently located in Little Rock at the corner of Rodney, Parham, and Shackelford.
There's a lot to say about the deliciousness of steaks, burgers, and kebabs, and the wonders of a summer cookout. But we figure, why go through all the trouble when beef can speak for itself? Just listen. Translation, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council.
Now you're ready for playoff action. If you missed anything, this show is posted on Hootens.com. Also, there is the high school scoreboard, powered by First Security. After these games, on to next week. Until then, for Barry Grooms, Chad, and Chris Hooten, I'm David Wallace. We'll see you at the stadium.